Right now, the time is 5:19 a.m. We start early. I'm wide awake. I'm not that tired right now. I'm not tired at all, actually. And that's because I went to bed at 8 o'clock. Not 8:05, not 8:10, 8 o'clock on the dot. And now I'm here and I'm recording this video because I planned it, because that's what I wanted to do. I executed and now I'm here. My name is Sam. You could call me Samathan or Sam, whatever. I am a musician, a producer. I rap, I sing. Music is my life. There have been times when I've really been on my music grind, and then there have been times when I've really been off of it. I also work a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes balancing the two can be difficult, but I want to pursue this music thing full time. And I know there's a lot of other artists out there, many of you who might be watching, that are working a bob job, what I like to call it, and want to pivot away from that and to do your creative endeavors completely full time. So like I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of success during the pandemic 2020 when there wasn't much going on, of really honing in on my music, focusing on releasing, posting, creating, and having a good regular schedule of doing that on a consistent basis, and really building my muscles, my musical muscles of a creative. But since then, there have been lots of times when it's been months upon months when I would do nothing. I would not touch my music. I would just be avoiding it. I've had demos in progress for the longest time. They've just been sitting on my hard drive. What good is that? You want to be able to share your music with people. At least that's what I want to do, and I feel like that's what a lot of people want to do. I'm also a person who's very into self-improvement. I've always been super into self-help books, audios, YouTube videos on how to optimize your day and things like that. And I've personally experimented with lots of different things to be the best version of myself. I would list out all the things that I would need to do in a given day. If I finished all of those things, that would be a pass. If I didn't complete any one of those things, that would be a fail for the day. But at the end of the day, when I was doing these processes, I was too focused on the process itself, because at a point I was getting complacent with, oh, failing, okay, it's a fail, this day is a fail, this day is a fail. But I still felt like the illusion of progress because I was marking it as a fail. And sure, you need to track your progress in order to succeed, but you also need to start passing as well. So throughout my time in trying to create these different methods, I've learned you just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. You know, Nike did not make up that quote for nothing, and that quote did not stick for nothing. No one can do the work but you. So combining my desire for discipline and wanting to improve my life with my desires to be a creative, create music and art, I'm combining these two things to let y'all know what I've learned so far and how to be a disciplined creative. First thing I learned, only you are responsible for your life. Your family is not responsible for your life. Your friends are not responsible for your life. You can go to your family and friends and ask them advice, but at the end of the day, you're the only one that is capable of making an executive decision. And a lot of times in my personal experience, what I learned is I allow myself to not have the agency in my own life. And I take that agency away from me by giving that power to my family and to my friends. Your family and your friends, they're your loved ones, so you feel comfortable in confiding to them. But if you get stuck in that feeling of comfort, then you will never dish out the discomfort that it takes to be alone sometimes. Take yourself away from your family and friends. I'm not saying to isolate, but to take some healthy boundaries and some time away to actually go and execute the things that you want to do. Because if you're with your loved ones all the time, then where's the time for you? Think about it like this. You're a chef. You have an audience of your family and your friends all sitting down at the dinner table, all cheering you on. Woo! Sam, you got this. Like, ooh, we so hungry. We can't wait to see what you cook. But if all you're doing is absorbing that and being like, yeah, I can't wait to see what I cook, but you don't actually get the ingredients out of your fridge, don't do the parts that are boring, like chopping up your veggies, seasoning them together, and throwing that on the grill. If you don't do any of that, then they're never gonna get the food. And until they get the food, they don't really know how else to support you than to cheer you on. And you need more than just cheering on to be able to do the things that you want to do. You need to actually execute and go through the parts that are boring. Go through the parts that make you feel like, I want to give up. But you have to go through that process in order to have that dish, have that 5-star meal in front of you. Okay, it's not going to be a 5-star gourmet the first time that you whip it out, but that comes with the process. The more that you do, the better that you get at it, but you need to do. The second point that I want to touch on is everything outside of your goals is a distraction. Everything that does not have to do with you doing the do is an excuse. Recently, I started a new job about a month and a half ago, and I remember when I first started, I was feeling really overwhelmed because I was stepping into a new role. I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. My boss had gone on a 3-week vacation a week into me getting the new job. So I was feeling very overwhelmed, and I was talking to my therapist about it, and I was saying, yeah, like, I've been really overwhelmed by my job, and that's why I really haven't had the energy to pour into my music, pour into my content creation, and it's just been a difficult time, but I know that it's not always going to be like this, so I'm giving myself grace. And you know what my therapist said? He said, that, like, that's an excuse. You can give yourself grace, but you're really just giving yourself an excuse to not do. You could be overwhelmed. You could be overwhelmed. I'm not invalidating the feeling, but you can choose. It's a decision and it's a choice that you can make to choose to do despite being overwhelmed. Or you can choose to let the feelings of being overwhelmed be an excuse to prevent you from doing. If I'm letting this one thing become an excuse, then I can let XYZ, every single little thing, become an excuse that prevents me from doing anything at all, being immobile and being idle for days, for weeks, for months, which is what I've experienced in the past before. I really enjoy those times when my gears would be turning and I would be constantly creating in a consistent pace. And then I would fall into those times when I would really fall off on those things. When I look at how my mental state was in those times, I was not in a good place. And I was not in a good place because I wasn't doing the things that I love to do. If you're overwhelmed, then why not pour yourself into doing the things that you love? What you love to do is creating art. What you love to do is making music. What you love to do is, I don't know, whatever type of creative medium you're doing is doing those things. You think that when you feel stressed out, when you feel overwhelmed, the best thing you need to do is nothing. It's just like, just lay in bed. Sometimes we need our rest. Yes, sometimes we need that. But a lot of times we extend that a lot more than we need, and it doesn't help us to be lying in bed for hours and hours, to be doing nothing. And it actually takes less energy to pour ourselves into the things that give us energy, our craft. Which brings me to my third point is you need to have a plan. If you have goals that you want to achieve, then you need to have a plan in place to help you achieve that goal. You need to have steps, you need to have deadlines, you need to figure out what in this tangible, 3-dimensional life can I do to achieve that. Right now, I'm working on an album, and I've been working on it for so long. I have had these demos just sitting on my hard drive. In order to get from where it is right now at 70% to 100% complete, I need to put a plan in place where I'm setting myself deadlines where, okay, I need to finish this song by the end of the week. I need to be able to get all of my mixes ready to send to my engineer by the end of the summer. I gotta give myself that time, because if you don't give yourself deadlines, if you don't give yourself time frames, then what is stopping you from working at such a glacial pace that it actually is counterproductive? It's important that we take our time and not rush into doing certain things, but it's equally destructive to be moving so slowly where you're really not making any progress at all. And that's where setting deadlines is so important. I would say deadlines is the first part of creating a plan, and the second part of that is creating habits. There are habits that you got to create and flesh out and execute on a day-to-day basis in order to hit those deadlines. So after you create these deadlines to hit your goals, you need to start to figure out, how is my day gonna look like? I need to carve out some time actually in my day to be able to work on these things. And if you don't carve out that time in your day, then it's so easy for that time to just be wasted. An hour can go by when we're scrolling on our phone, when we're just doing nothing. The last thing I want to say on the topic of having a plan is, don't obsess over the plan itself. Don't overcomplicate things. You know what you want to do. Don't waste too much time on the planning, because the most important part is the execution stage. So you know what your goals are. Write them down. You know, fix them up a little bit, touch them up here and there. Write down your habits. Write down the things that you need to do within a given day. Don't spend too much time on the nitty gritty. You know, you just need a basic layout so that you can move forward. You know, the plan is not the main thing. The execution is the main thing, but you need the plan in order to execute. The fourth thing that I've learned in my creative pursuits is, what you push off to tomorrow will never get done today. And all we ever have is today, is right now. There's been so many times when I've told myself, Sam, I want to wake up early. I want to wake up at 4 in the morning in order to get things done. I'm not saying you gotta wake up at 4, right? But that's a goal that I set for myself. And I kept telling myself, this is something that I want to do. And comes the morning time, I would wake up and I would hit snooze on the alarm and be like, it's okay. Right now, I like and enjoy the comfort of being under my sheets, staying warm, instead of being uncomfortable and doing the thing that I need to do and waking up at 4 and getting my day started. Because tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day. But that's the thing. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is not today. And today is all we have. Today is all we have. Today is all we have. The sooner that you can learn and understand that today is all we have, the sooner you will realize that tomorrow will never come. It's simply hubris to think that we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You don't know what's going to happen today. We should be grateful to be able to pour into our music, pour into our art, pour into our craft, what society deems as extracurriculars, when nothing about it is extracurricular at all. This is what we feed, breathe, and live. My camera just turned off, but you get what I'm trying to say. We can't afford to procrastinate, because what other time do we have? We don't have any other time. We just don't. Fifth and last observation that I've realized in my creative pursuits is, the small things turn into the big things. I'm talking about the good and the bad. When I talk about the good, the smallest things, even if it's putting an hour at a time to work on your craft, compounds into something so great, where now I have made progress with the music that I'm making and completing deadlines and closing the gap of finishing certain songs. But also in the process, I'm learning how to better produce, how to better punch in when I'm on the mic, how to better make use of my time as a musician, as an artist, honing in on my technical skills. All of these things compound. The smallest things turn into the biggest things. This also applies when I'm talking about the negative, the bad things. If you've ever worked out, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You have that one day where you're supposed to go to the gym and you decide, no, I'm just gonna pass it up on today. I don't really feel like going. It's just one day. I can afford that. And then you don't go that one day. And the next day, how do you feel? You feel it even more. And it's even harder for you to go to the gym because you haven't gone the day before. And then when you finally get back in the gym, it's so hard to work out. And that's all because of that one small decision for that one day when you decided, hey, I just want to forego going to the gym because I just want to I want to chill out. I want to be able to just enjoy I want to watch some TV. With that one little decision, and now you're struggling to do some reps with the easy weights. At the end of the day, applying yourself is not going to be the easiest thing, but it will always be the most fulfilling thing. I probably think that you don't want to continue to waste your life. What I believe you want to do is to be able to reach your potential, is to be able to use your time in a way that is fulfilling. If you're creative, being able to make that art, to be able to share that art with other people. You have so much to offer to the world. And I'm speaking to me when I'm saying this. As much as I'm speaking to you, you have so much to offer to the world. And in order to be able to offer something up to the world, you're going to have to build a little bit of discipline. And that's basically what this whole channel is about. It's about poetic discipline. There's so many YouTube channels out there that's about, oh, like how to optimize your day, and you know, how to make sure that you're working out, and how to make sure that you're on your duties and you're on your tasks and on your goals. And a lot of those channels, not to knock it, but it's like, okay, like how it's very alpha male, very much let me try to figure out and get my together so that I can get some so that I could go and get a lot of money. I'm not saying that money and, you know, getting attention, right, is a bad thing, but this channel is more so geared towards my creatives out there. As a creative myself, as a musician myself, it's important that I talk on these things from the perspective of my own experience, and I'm just here to share that. Thank you for tuning in, and let's go and get a life together. Let's go. Let's go.